Good Thursday morning, East Tennessee. I've got some special things prepared for you today. Information you're just not going to find, willy-nilly. You'll find it here with Captain Accurate because I want to keep you ahead of schedule. We're 1 month away from a very special event. I'm talking about the 14th of October. If you know what I'm talking about in the world of astronomy, there's going to be some good information I'm going to share with you. But I want to show you first the Ultimate Doppler radar. We have the classic clear air mode, so to speak. We've got a little ground clutter around the radar there in Morristown. Not much to see here around the state. In fact, it's going to be a slice of nice. Well, what does that mean exactly? Because if you're talking golf, that's not a good thing, Aldrich. That means the ball might be going which way, but everywhere but down the fairway. I know this is a slice of good nice. The niceness that you associate with nice fall weather, even though it's still summer, temperatures would be making it into the lower 80s. Where we do have rain, though, would be across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and we may see some more flare-ups just along the state line near Bryson City, Asheville, even toward Atlanta. Well, you know the solar eclipse may be what I was hinting at. It's not the total solar eclipse. That's next year. That's considered the Super Bowl of astronomy. I know a lot of us love the Perseid meteor shower in August. Maybe we love the International Space Station looking overhead, but that pales in comparison to what I'm looking at behind me, because what we're going to have is the annular solar eclipse that leads to the Ring of Fire. Ooh, that's a famous song, I believe. Outer Edge still shines in these events, and this will happen 1 month from today. So October 14th, mark your calendar, moon covers the sun, but never reaches 100% totality. We'll save that event for April of next year. And many of you remember what we had in Knoxville and certainly Madisonville, where I was during the big event that happened just a few short years ago. This is where this path will be, courtesy of NASA. So we got the line here, and the times will be across this. Even though we're not in the path directly, there will still be some exciting things to see if you're wearing some protective eye gear, so to speak. But this will happen in the morning hours on, say, the 14th of October. There's the date. Saturday, October 14th. So you might not even be at the office, right? You'll be off, maybe doing something fun with the kids. But Knoxville, still in that 40 to 50% coverage. I'll talk more about that down the road. But I just wanted to show you a little hint, something to look forward to in October, in addition to maybe a bye week or I guess when we think of football season. That continues on. But we got a lot of orange on this screen. And then the 2024 solar eclipse will be the main event, much like we had just a few short years ago. I believe it's 2017, if I'm correct. But April 8th is the date for the total solar eclipse, and that is by far and away one of the coolest things to see and the time of year. It may not be perfection in Knoxville. You might have to go to a Dallas or a Rochester, New York, or central parts of Arkansas. In fact, our premium members, we're talking about a field trip. Maybe you want to join us. But this will be something fun that we're going to be doing as we head down the road. The total solar eclipse is next year. And, of course, you get a preview with a month from today. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. I did a video on this a little while ago that did not have audio, but just wanted to give you some intel. Visibility this morning. Good morning, too, since it's a slice of nice and not much to see on the radar. A little bit of fog in Crater City. That would be known as Middlesboro, Bell County, down to a mile. 10 miles visibility in Morristown and 10 in Knoxville. Not a big issue for fog this morning. A hint of it for sure. But it's interesting to see where the temperatures divide. Where do the 50s and 60s meet? Oh, my. Well, it's right in town. I mean, we got 52 in Lexington, 56 in Nashville. I thought we were going to be in the 50s. Well, it's kind of fallen short tonight, this morning, last night, this morning, right along the valley and the plateau, because there's a 10-degree difference between Crossville and Knoxville. In fact, it's a 13-degree difference between Oneida and Knoxville. And Oak Ridge is 10 degrees. They're at 60 versus the 50 in Oneida. So you can almost draw that line pretty clearly, no doubt about where the cooler air meets. It's right basically in here where you're a lot cooler north and west. So if you're on the call, let me know. I'd love to say hi to you and find out where you are temperature-wise if you've got some fog. I'm on 2 platforms this morning. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. My YouTube videos are now getting seen probably just as much as my Facebook down the road. So people watch it on delay. I love it. Good morning, says Steve Stone. He's one of my premium members on Facebook. So is Kathy Muller. Good morning. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Fred says, good morning, David. Glad we're going to have the sunshine today. And Wanda says, it is, in fact, foggy in Newport. Glad for that intel. Thank you, Wanda. And she says it's getting closer to fall and pumpkin time activities around this 23rd of September. So I'll have some fall color reports as we get closer to that season, but we're still technically in summer. I know it's hard to imagine, but technically in summer. And by the way, I'm still on YouTube. If you're on the call, I don't know if I have any comments yet on YouTube, but some of us maybe, oh, yes, I got a couple. Steve has a message that maybe looks like message retracted. Maybe he's putting on both posts. But I have someone who's speaking Spanish to me. Then I'm going to need some translation because I'm a little rusty from my Spanish days in high school. All right, let's get to the temperatures. Out the door, you're in the 50s and 60s. Oh, my. Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, 61. 55, though. Rockwood and Kingston this morning, really a nice start. Dew points are very tolerable. Anytime they're out of the upper 60s is nice. But in this case, there's no humidity here. What are you talking about? Low 50s? Are you kidding me? That is fall-like, that is cool, and that is crisp. I was waiting for you to use the word crisp. Yeah, we've got that. It's certainly like that. And with the lack of rain today, maybe some of the leaves underfoot could be a little crunchy. As we got the fog in some places like Newport, thank you, Wanda. We also have some humidity that lingers in green south of Atlanta at midday today. So this is where all the humidity will persist in green well to the south. We've got a beautiful dry day today. Beautiful dry day tomorrow. A little bit more humidity comes up from the south and west by the end of tomorrow afternoon, but you'll notice the drier air trying to move down from the north and east, and then it comes back. You knew it would. By 5 o'clock Saturday, I have some showers and storms in the area, and the humidity may be a little higher than it is right now, maybe but retreat a bit as a front passes by on Sunday. So here's the cloud situation this morning. The sun will be up. In about a half hour from now, we've got mostly clear skies for now, for most part, but it could be a partly cloudy, if not sun through scattered clouds kind of day. Hazy sun. It's going to change. It's kind of like this sky. You see what I mean? Is it cloudy? Is it clear? Well, there's something in this sky. They're mostly high clouds. Sun rises this morning at 7:18, about a half hour from now, and we'll be going to bed now at 7:45. I got some notes here because I'm a note taker. Yesterday's high was 84. I was expecting 82. And it was 84 in Oak Ridge, also expecting around 82 degrees. But normal high is 83 now. Those normals are dropping as we get further into the month of September. Days are getting shorter, so it gets harder, not always, but harder to reach some of those values in excess of 83. But we will certainly be in that category for the next couple of days. I got 82 today, 84 for Friday. Here's the bus stop forecast as you head out to work or school this morning. Temperatures in the low 60s, but that's contingent. If you're in the valley, you could take 10 degrees off of that if you're in the plateau. 65 by 10 for any recess that might be planned by a school teacher. There's a good recess time, I think. Certainly temperature-wise will be pleasant. And then 2 o'clock pickup, temperatures around 77. Should finish the day around 82 in Knoxville. But a far cry from that if you're in Crossville. Crossville, 75, Cumberland County. Wartburg, Morgan County, 78. Hamlin County, Morristown, about 80 and 82 for Newport, Cocke County, Parrottsville, and Del Rio. Well, just kind of reiterate what I have said the last couple of days. Tennessee Valley Fair is great anytime. But my best weather days lie ahead are today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow. And I know fireworks take place at precisely 10:30 nightly. So you got some opportunities to check out some fireworks tonight. But today and Friday, I think, are best days. If you're going to be there Saturday and Sunday, you just may need to be flexible, whether you're enjoying the popcorn, the onion rings, or perhaps a funnel cake. All right, Tennessee Volunteers, they're down in Florida. It's the swamp time. It's Gator Hater Week. We know they have a 7 o'clock game. I did update this forecast, and you'll see why. It does relate somewhat indirectly to Lee. Not that Hurricane Lee is headed to Florida, but what goes up must come down. And Lee is going to make a run toward Maine and Nova Scotia, while rain will continue to push downward toward Florida. So with kickoff temperature unchanged, 81, halftime temperature unchanged, 77, my expectation is we'll end this game in the lower 70s with a sunset at 7:35. So it'll set about 35 minutes after this game begins, but I left a 40% chance of showers and storms. Most of it's during the pregame, most of it's during the tailgating, because by the time you get to the second half, that chance of rain will probably have diminished to 20%. So I'm just throwing that out there. You want some rain gear. Certainly if you're tailgating, you're going there early. You want to get your best seat, right, before the excitement happens. But I know this is a Go Big Orange, huge big game against Florida, the Gators down there this Saturday. Wind speeds not moving much, just 6 miles an hour. I expect, though, 5 to 10 during the course of today out of the northeast. So if you get a northeast wind around here, tends to keep things somewhat cooler than average. Average is 83. I'm expecting 82. Wouldn't surprise me if we're 83. It depends on, we're getting a warmer start, mind you, here in the valley, a much cooler start this morning in the plateau. just to use as an illustration. Tracking the clouds, no rain really to talk about locally, but there are a few showers near Tupelo and more clouds near Memphis, Nashville, and Chattanooga. So that's why I say you'll find a variable sky, but most of the clouds today should be of the high variety. Well, National Hurricane Center still watching Lee with great interest. We have a new storm that could get the name Nigel. Hello, Nigel. 70% chance by the time we hit the next 7 days, and Margot's moving north, so we're not too worried about Margot, but she's worth noting because we've had quite a few storms now. It seemed like we had a slow start. I know we had Arlene, Brett, Cindy, and then it kind of stopped for a while, and then Don. And we really didn't get really attentive to hurricanes hitting the U.S. until Idalia, and now we're going to have Lee kind of brush through the New England states. I think it's really going to be a 7-10 split. To borrow a bowling analogy, Lee might very well have some impact along those areas. And here's where Lee is now. Pretty far off, but it's still creating some rip currents, no doubt. High surf from the Carolinas all the way up toward Long Island, and we'll be heading northward. There's Margot on the right side of your screen, and Nigel on the bottom right. Not Nigel yet, but the makings of Nigel are now forming on the bottom right of your screen. So if you're kind of curious about what wave heights look like with this storm, it's pretty big. This storm is getting bigger, and no wonder they have rip currents and high surf, because they've already got 12-foot waves off the coast, but 38, 35-foot waves in the center of Hurricane Lee. Pretty impressive, no doubt. Now, Lee has the potential to make a landfall by Saturday night. So if you have family up here around New England, they'll feel the effects. Of course, news coverage will be, I'm sure, wall-to-wall on some channels. But the brunt of the tropical models take it between Nova Scotia and Maine as far as a direct hit. There will be some far-reaching high surf, no doubt, in, say, Cape Cod, Nantucket, and across parts of New Hampshire and Maine, no doubt. But Hurricane Lee, the last update we had this morning as of 5 a.m. Eastern Time, you're looking at 1 p.m., 90, about, say, 1 a.m., 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then into tomorrow. It's now looking like it's making landfall as a tropical storm. Now, who would have thought that when we had a Category 5 storm a week ago, Thursday night, Friday, it had winds of 165. The media was super hyped, and maybe for good reason. We had a Cat 5 in the middle of the Atlantic. People get nervous. But look what happens. This thing slows down. Oh, and I probably should take off my illustration here. But this slows down to a tropical storm, because you need winds a little more than 70 to meet hurricane status, about 74 for a hurricane, and we won't see that probably fall off by the time we move about into 2 a.m. Saturday, when winds are still around 80 miles per hour. If you're kind of fascinated by Lee, let me know, because I am convinced, as I've been sharing with my premium members, our hurricane season isn't over with Lee. Nigel may be just the start of another wave, so be prepared. Just so you know, if you're making some late September vacation plans at the beach, you want to pay attention to the tropics. Here's why Florida has the potential for some rain. What goes up must come down. You can see this front wants to move, or the storm, hurricane, soon to be tropical storm, moves toward Maine. This one moves it a little bit closer to Portland, Maine. But look at Tampa and maybe around the Gainesville area. This is game time, 7 o'clock Saturday. That matches my time stamp. There's Margot on the right. Lee's making landfall. And there's still about a 40% chance of showers developing in Florida. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully it won't be too disruptive, even if it is primarily before the game begins. It is 6:53. I got a slice of nice today, a feel-good Friday, and rain chances this weekend. Good morning to you. It is 6:53. I have maybe more Spanish notes here. I don't know how to help my friend, Mr. Quieres. Maybe that's not his name, but it just says Jay. There's Felicia. She says, happy Thursday, loving the cooler weather in the mornings. Have a great day. Glad to have Felicia on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, Melissa Sill says good morning. She's got her 2 cups of coffee. Those are virtual. I'm going to share that with you, Melissa. Thank you. Alice says good morning. Have a great day. She's got her cup of coffee. And Ed says good morning. Cody says, Cody LaRouche, good morning. Glad to have Cody as well, as he's one of my premium members here on Facebook. By the way, headlines. I just can't emphasize how beautiful today and tomorrow are going to be. So if I borrow that line from Dead Poets Society, seize the day, carpe diem. These days are going to be pretty sweet. 63 current temperature at the airport. I'll be done here in 6 minutes. We got a northeast wind at 6, and the relative humidity relatively low. 60% chance of rain Saturday, 40% chance on Sunday. I've noticed in the data that the rain on Saturday is up and then it's down. Sunday's up and then it's down. It may very well be a 7-10 split for rain, meaning the bulk of the rain this weekend may come in Saturday night. and into the wee hours of Sunday morning. Because I do believe the storms that we get Sunday will be exiting long before noontime. Most of the rain will be gone. So if you make your plans, be flexible. If you're headed to perhaps the Tennessee Valley Fair this weekend, just know that there is going to be some rain in the forecast. But right now, my expectation is a 60% chance of rain on Saturday, and most of that rain comes up from the south and the west. All right, so this is actually text that is not correct. That is not correct. So I'm going to do it on the fly because I think some people appreciate the candor. Let's go ahead and just change that. Let's go ahead and move this off. And we're going to take this because this is for layover from yesterday. So I'll just take this off. Boop, there it's gone. And we'll maybe just change this little image to something that looks maybe, well, partly cloudy looks good. We'll keep that. We'll keep that in place. But I do expect with now an average high, I've already said 83. We got to change that real quick for the planner. See, I can't believe you're doing this. You wouldn't do this on traditional TV. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do this. I might get in trouble. But the only who am I going to get in trouble with? You? You guys love the fact that I can share that with you on the fly. So there you go. 82 is my expectation. 83 the average high. And I expect, again, temperatures to be in the upper, we'll say upper 70s by the time we hit maybe the drive home. Is that right? 1 o'clock? Upper 70s by 3. So for those of you that get off work a little early, hopefully you'll savor these days because, again, we don't always get nice weather like this with low humidity. It doesn't happen all the time. Storm Prediction Center, nothing to change here for the map. I can show you I've got some areas around Houston from our friends at the Storm Prediction Center that could reach severe limits. That includes Austin. It includes San Antonio. And includes parts of New Mexico. That's where the only hot spot across the country. Now, you'll notice the Storm Prediction Center, in their wisdom, put a little bit of thunder in Monroe County. That's what the lightest shade of green means. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a spot of rain in Clingman's Dome, Newfound Gap. There is the potential, as some of the rain develops around Bryson City, that some of the higher terrain could get a sprinkle or two today. Outside of that, looks pretty quiet. Now, tomorrow, this area in Texas grows. It extends into the panhandle of Oklahoma and into parts of eastern New Mexico. Lubbock, San Antonio, isolated severe storms there. Nothing going here tomorrow, as I've mentioned. And maybe just excited. Now, Saturday, we have some thunderstorms, not severe. But we know what happened the last time they did one of those messes. We had some severe weather. Remember, we had someone in Hamlin County a couple of days ago, and nothing was expected. So sometimes you take it with a grain of salt. But I do expect with temperatures on Saturday in the low to mid-80s, there could be some strong storms that develop. We'll have to wait and see. Chicago, Dallas, Houston, this is Saturday's outlook. That means most of us, even in southeast Kentucky, are fair game for some wet weather. And I suspect this will originate from the south and west, from Huntsville, Chattanooga, and moving to the north and east. Let's take a look at what that looks like here at 6:57. You notice around Bryson City and Asheville, a little hint of green, a little drop of rain here. So if you're traveling into North Carolina and you're using the wipers a couple of times, that might be why. Because it even shows up at 12 noon today around, say, western North Carolina. We slide into 145. Still a little hint, maybe around Clingman's Dome, but not Knoxville. Again, it's very localized in the higher terrain, and it's Sprinkle City, we'll call it that, mainly across North Carolina. But the bulk of the rain is south of Atlanta, and that's where it lives for tonight as well. So another beautiful night tonight with some mostly clear to scattered clouds. Now, Friday, I think this is a bit model noise. In fact, I think it's quite a bit model noise here. I do believe the rain does expand from Atlanta to Huntsville, and then eventually it swings back around. Now, why would it behave like that? Look at the high across Ohio. As you'll follow the winds, they're in a clockwise motion, so it's going to swing that rain from Nashville, Huntsville, right back into Knoxville by Saturday. And I think it'll fill in not so much Bowling Green, but more so Plateau, Knoxville. This will really fill in, I think, Saturday night. There's another good evidence of that as the warm front moves through Charleston, West Virginia, and some of the storms you see in red could become stronger and maybe severe. So we'll keep an eye on that potential as we head into Saturday night. Futurecast taking the clouds, mainly of the high variety, mainly south of Interstate 40. Noontime, we should be around 72. And then pick out your favorite town by 4 o'clock. If we're not around 82, we'll be pretty close. Could see at 83 or 2, 83 or 4, I should say, for the Southern Valley. 75, though, for Crossville. 76 for Oneida. 5 o'clock today, maybe some spots of rain in western North Carolina. Tonight, we'll call it mostly clear to scattered clouds. We got a good blend of the two. And then for Friday, I think it's a pretty sweet-looking day as well. I don't expect this rain. I think this is kind of the outlier. But we will find, I think, a good blend of high clouds and some sunshine for Friday. Saturday, things kind of go downhill. So sunshine through scattered clouds is what I expect today. I'm holding my 82 on the board for McGee-Tyson, but it's going to be a lot cooler if you're in Oneida, 76. If you're in Crossville, 75. And Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, may not get out of the upper 70s today. So take into account where you are, which county you're in, as you could vary from 70s to 80s. 84 for Huntsville, if you're traveling there. Charlotte, 80 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, a good blend of mostly clear to scattered clouds. Winds will be out of the northeast, 3 to 8 miles per hour tonight. We're down to 57. And you can see our low temperatures. Oneida, 50. 55 La Follette, Morristown. So I do anticipate, while we didn't quite get into the 50s wholeheartedly last night this morning, we have a better chance of doing that tonight. So I've got temperatures generally in the upper 50s from Maryville to Tellico Plain. So if we're in that 59, 57 range for the valley, that would not surprise me. But it stays cool again tonight for the plateau. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville and East Tennessee. Showers and storms Saturday. Again, maybe the main event Saturday night. This would not surprise me, but it will exit by all accounts of modeling today that this gets out of here Sunday morning for the most part. Smoky's always the last to see the rain get out. Monday, Tuesday, we reinforce the cool air. Monday night, 54. Wednesday, 85. So there it goes. Lots of interesting weather still to come, and we're not done with the tropics, despite Lee may, isn't it interesting, ironic, that he may make landfall as a tropical storm. Amazing. How will that be remembered in history? Maybe a year from now. Oh, remember when Lee was a Cat 5? It's like, oh, I think it was a tropical storm. So everybody's going to be confused from the data. Debbie says, good morning. Debbie Longs-Shrewsbury, one of my preview members. And Marilyn Bell says, have a great day. This week is the first week in a month I haven't had to mow twice a week. Isn't that something? It's kind of a blessing, a little treat. Maybe the grass is slow to grow when it's not necessarily hot and humid. But Felicia says, just noticed you are only 7 away from 1,000 followers on your YouTube. Yes, help me get over that benchmark. That'd be great. I'm at, 953? So if you're on YouTube, be sure to like my page and follow me there. Congratulations, and hopefully you can get over the 1,000 mark on YouTube. Have a wonderful Thursday and enjoy the beautiful weather. Thank you, Felicia. And Wanda Post says Florida's weather looks good for the Vols game. A couple of showers, mainly before the game. If you're just joining me, we did cover the Falls Florida Gator game forecast earlier in this recording or live. But before I forget, come back on YouTube because I've been dealing with someone who's actually asking me lots of questions in Spanish. I have certainly maybe a Spanish following, but it's the same person I see. And he's talking about Puerto Rico. I do see that. So maybe he's concerned about the weather down there. Anyway, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. Hope you have a great Thursday. We'll see you here next time. Take care.